biggest headlines from the first day of Miami Dolphins training camp. This first report, Ryan Tannehill and DeVante Parker's huge day. This report is by Armando Salguero of the Miami Herald. The second play from scrimmage during the initial team period of 2017 was a 32-yard touchdown pass from Ryan Tannehill to DeVante Parker. Parker, starting his third season, had an outstanding spring that suggested this is going to be a breakout season, and the first practice did nothing to change that hope. Parker caught 2 passes, including one in the end zone, in which he simply posted up to a defender, made himself big, and snatched Tannehill's pass from 11 yards out. My opinion on this is, it is just great to hear that from the start of OTAs, throughout the spring and into the summer, into training camp, DeVante Parker has been able to stay consistent. He's been able to stay 100% healthy, and we're reaping the benefits of that right now. We see a DeVante Parker who looks like he's a legitimate number 1 dominant outside receiver who's going to be a top 10 to a top 5 receiver this upcoming season. I can't wait to see what he does. This gets me even more excited of the talent level that is on this Miami Dolphins offense. Any Dolphins fan should be happy. Obviously, Tannehill had a great day. With a beautiful 32-yard touchdown pass to DeVante Parker. It just gets you even more excited, and this is great news, again, that DeVante Parker was able to stay, he's been able to stay healthy for this long, and he's been able to consistently play at a high level for this long, and it's great to see Tannehill have a great first day. This next report is concerning cornerback Alteron Werner, and this report is also by Armando Salguero of the Miami Herald. New cornerback Alteron Werner is expected to compete with Bobby McCain for the slot cornerback job. But as of today, McCain remains the first-team guy. Werner will get outside work as well. A Pro Bowl selection 3 years ago obviously has not played up to that since, but he thinks he's capable of being better than he was when he did make the Pro Bowl. Werner, when asked that, he said, quote, "No question. Quote, things happen. I'm not here to put blame or excuses on anything, but yes, I'm only 28. If anything, I'm entering my prime, and I'm better than what I was at the time. That's why I look at it. I got better. I definitely didn't get worse." This is great news for Dolphins fans, in my opinion. I think the reason this is in this video is if you watch the interview with Adam Gase, he really was super vague of where Alteron Werner is competing to play. So this report kind of gives you a straightforward answer that, yeah, Alteron Werner is going to be the slot corner for the Miami Dolphins. I also saw some confusion in the comment section below of where he's going to compete at. He's competing for that slot corner position. And obviously Werner is cocky and, confident like any competitor would be, and I think it's great news. I think it's great news that we brought in a veteran presence. This is what I was asking for this entire offseason, to sign somebody like this. I wanted Darrelle Revis. We went with the cheaper version of him, the cheaper, younger version of him, with Alteron Werner, who's only 28 years old. I expect bigger things from him this upcoming season, and I expect him to give Bobby McCain a run for his money, even if he doesn't make the final 53-man roster. This next report is concerning Ted Larsen in that guard position, and this report is also by Armando Salguero of the Miami Herald. So one of the only starting jobs up for grabs on the offense is left guard, but today Ted Larsen established himself as the favorite for the job, although I would expect there will be a lot of cross-training and media confusion on this topic. You'll hear squawking when Isaac Asiata or Craig Ubrick take first-team snaps at left guard. It's going to Larsen unless he totally collapses. Dolphins make of this that Ted Larsen has established himself as the favorite for the job. I think it's good news. I think, the more reps he can get at first team, so we're not constantly switching in and out, the more chemistry we can build with the offense, the better. And if it's Ted Larsen, it's Ted Larsen. I think the only thing I don't like about Ted Larsen is he's not durable. I think he's a good to okay starting guard in the NFL, and I don't think he's going to stink it up. I don't think he's on the level of Billy Turner or Dallas Thomas. He's nowhere near that bad. He's a smart player. He knows where his assignments are. He's not going to be stupid like those two were and completely collapse an offensive line. He's mentally strong, and he's an okay athlete as well. So I think we should be just fine with Ted Larsen. If this narrative keeps up, that Ted Larsen is clearly starting at that position, well, I think it's for the better for chemistry reasons. This report details the red zone drills that the Miami Dolphins had on their first day of training camp. This report comes from the Sun Sentinel. During a red zone drill, wide receiver Kenny Stills adjusted to his route and briefly shielded off a defender, allowing Ryan Tannehill just enough time to hit DeVante Parker for a 2-point conversion. Tannehill said the way Stills and Parker work together shows the difference between simply running a play and understanding a play. Ryan Tannehill said, quote, "Once you get the step and the next step in development as an offense," Tannehill said, that's when you see more plays being made because you have an overall understanding of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. So when you hear me sit here and say they need the playbook, and some players are going to take a huge step this year because they understand the playbook, that report details what that means so perfectly, guys. That is the difference between knowing an offensive playbook and not knowing an offensive playbook. That's the difference between an elite level offense and knowing what the heck they're doing and an offense that is just confused out there and ranks bottom of the league in red zone offense and bottom of the league in third down conversion. This Dolphins offense is going to be amazing this upcoming season, and this report details the difference between knowing your playbook and not knowing your playbook. This report is about Charles Harris's first day of Miami Dolphin training camp, and this report comes from the Sun-Sentinel. Rookie defensive end Charles Harris, the first-round pick from Missouri, didn't attack the quarterback with as much success as he did in the offseason workouts, but Gase liked what he saw. The Dolphins mixed up their looks so Harris couldn't just attack passing situations that he did in the aforementioned offseason workouts. Adam Gase said, quote, "Every time he gets a look that he hasn't seen or something he hasn't seen in college, it's good for him," end quote. And that's what Adam Gase had to say about Charles Harris's first day. This is great news. If you watch the press conference that Adam Gase held after training camp was over, he kind of gushes a little bit more about Charles Harris's first day. The reason he didn't get to the quarterback as many times is that he tried to run the ball at Charles Harris a lot, and that's something that Charles Harris struggled with in college. So I think obviously what Adam Gase said in that quote, he's just trying to get Charles Harris better. And he was really happy with what Adam Gase saw. Adam Gase also said that his explosive first step really showed up his first day of training camp. So that is with pads on. He still stood out explosively and athletically, even with pads on. So that's great news as well. So great news for Dolphins fans. This next report is concerning all the Dolphins that missed the first day of training camp. This report is also by Armando Salguero of the Miami Herald. Tight end Anthony Fasano missed for personal reasons. He was excused by Adam Gase. Rashad Jones was active on the non-football injury list because he injured himself running while away from the team training facility. Worked with trainers on the side. Gase said the team is simply, quote, being precautionary. Adam Gase also said it's, quote, nothing major. So nothing insane. There's no reason. Rashad's not like on a season. He didn't hurt himself where he's going to miss the entire season. Anthony Fasano had personal issues that he had to attend to. So that is why they both missed the first day of training camp. This report is concerning Ryan Tannehill's first day of Miami Dolphin training camp, and this report comes from the Sun-Sentinel. Tannehill's progress was probably the most encouraging aspect of day one. Not only did he look good on the field, he was entertaining off the field. It goes on to tell you how Tannehill was joking around about his knee injury, and Kenny Stills came over and said, "Did anybody get you anything for your birthday? Did the reporters ask you happy birthday?" and all that other stuff, and he made jokes. It was really funny if you saw the interview. So this report is great news. Tannehill had an outstanding first day of training camp. The Sun-Sentinel obviously praising Tannehill, and he was the most, saying that he was the most encouraging aspect of the first day. So that's great news for Dolphins fans. Tannehill looking like a beast on the football field. He's very mobile, even with the knee brace on. And the whole aspect of him, joking around and, making light of the situation and stuff and being, just a funny, he looks happy. Is the best way I can explain it. I think this is the happiest Tannehill has ever been. This is the most comfortable, relaxed Tannehill has ever been. And I think that's just going to help his career. It doesn't seem like he's under any pressure. It just seems like he's having fun, which is good news for Dolphins fans. This next report is concerning Jakeem Grant's first day of training camp, and this report is from the Miami Herald. Quarterback Matt Moore hit Jakeem Grant on a slant route that the speedy receiver took to the house from about 35 yards out. One troubling thing is that Grant roasted rookie cornerback Cordrea Tankersley on his route. This is great news. Obviously, Cordrea got, as the Miami Herald put it, roasted. But I think this is great news. He should roast somebody who's a rookie, and this is his first training camp. That's what Jakeem Grant should do. And the fact that he scored a 35-yard touchdown off of a slant, I think is just emphasizes how good of an offseason Jakeem Grant and how good of a spring and what he's doing to get better so far this season, and it's great news. So that, guys, that has been your Miami Dolphins training camp recap. Let me know what you guys think about all of these topics. Which news story are you most excited to hear about? What gets you more pumped than anything? And I am Skaggs1083, and preseason is almost here. I can't wait, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let's get through the rigmarole before we jump into the podcast. Remember, guys, this podcast posts each and every single Wednesday. The first segment of the show, we go through all the Dolphins news you need to know about. The second segment of the show, we go through all the AFC East news you need to know about. And the third and final segment, we go through the Miami Dolphins fan Q&A.